Welcome back to the Lunchline is episode 29. And yes, that's Tiggy talking because JT is out homesick, but we have his brother from the same mother finally back, Jake,
back
in the studios. Jake, how are you doing today?
Well, first and foremost, brother, miss you as always. Yeah, life's been a little crazy these last couple weeks. Pretty busy. Went back-to-back weddings, just back-to-back busyness. But the good thing about it all is like now things start to slow down. Like this is not like the typical summers I've had in the past where it's like 1 to 2 weddings a month and everything feels like it's nonstop. Really, the only couple things I have are more, I guess, chill trips now with beach trips, and then I really don't have anything else wedding-wise until October. So in terms of wedding season, we're done with that. Went to a beautiful wedding this past weekend. It was on Pitt's campus, dude. First time I've ever been on Pitt's campus, and honestly, it's not that bad. I'm gonna say it. Like I guess like this sounds so dumb, but I didn't realize it's like its own little area of downtown Pittsburgh. Like it's a cool little place. But yeah, it was a beautiful wedding, and I'm honestly just happy to be back here. JT decided to take off today. You know, we can't make him all. He's down in the large state of Texas. So everything's bigger down there, I heard. But yeah, Tiggy, it's very good to be back with you, brother.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've been to Pitt's campus, I think a couple times, and it's so cool because you're in Pittsburgh, but it's somewhat like spread out enough where you kind of do get that college town area, like college vibe. And they have a lot of grass, a lot of greenery, a lot of like nice walking areas. And they have this huge church in the middle of the grounds. I don't know if you went by there.
Dude, that might be by where the wedding was at. The wedding was at the Soldiers and Sailors Museum place.
Yeah.
Dude, it's sick. That building was fucking awesome. Like it was one of the coolest. I don't know. The older I get, the more I appreciate like cool buildings. And it was a very like beautiful area. It was really, really cool.
I think that's where my stepsister had her wedding.
Oh, no way. That's cool.
Because we stayed very close. And it's like insane. Is that where Joey Baker got married? I don't know if you know.
Oh, dude, I have no idea. No clue.
Actually, wait. This place looks different. This place looks different. But so we stayed. Looking at the picture outside, we stayed at the hotel across the street from this place, and this is where we took like family photos.
No way.
They didn't get married there. They got married like down the street. I forget what it was, but it was like a huge area, and they had like these smaller Pantheon and architectural, like huge historical buildings and stuff. It was a really cool place. But very similar. So we stayed right by there. So this is really cool. Whose wedding did you go to? Obviously JT's, but who else did you go to?
Christy's sister got married. And it was nice. It was awesome. Like the weather ended up being perfect. The ceremony was perfect. The reception was perfect. It was just one of those days, other than a couple medical errors on her end. And by her, I mean Christy, your boy had a good time. I had a very good time. It was just very fun. Very, very nice. The family was great. The vibes were great. First time mingling with the fam, brother. And that's all. It's always kind of a nerve-wracking experience, but everybody was very welcoming. And she's upstairs, so I have to make sure I talk very nice. Very nice.
Okay. And you said Christy, right?
Yeah.
And who's Christy?
She's my girlfriend, dude. She's my girlfriend. Yeah.
That's sick. Okay. Yeah. That's awesome. So that's fantastic. Because this is pretty new, right?
Yeah. This, honestly, dude, I'm gonna be corny. I'm gonna be corny right now.
Okay.
It's one of those situations where like you always make fun of people that when they're like, when you know, like you'll just meet somebody one day and you'll just know. And like, and if you've never done that, you're like, okay, that life doesn't work that way, but we just vibe so well, and we're just kind of head first, deep diving in, which is nice. It's not like one of those things where we're taking our time, like we're, I'm 31. She's almost in her 30s. We're getting older. What's the point of waiting type deal? So now everything's working out great.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I'm
That's
a
incredible.
smitten kitten.
Yeah,
Yeah, dude.
that's awesome, man. I'm really happy for you. That's tough, like you said, to be put into that, to meet her side of the family at a wedding where, alcohol and the dancing and stuff. I mean, it can get out of control really quick at those events. So,
Dude, and I was at the family table.
oh, dude. So like everyone probably knows the family, and then you're there, and it's like, wait,
it's like,
wait,
who's this redneck sitting at this table here? Who is this guy? No,
that's
but
awesome.
everybody was great though. It was a beautiful time. So very, very happy I got the invite. Her sister's awesome. Her husband's awesome. They're very, very cool people, very down to earth people. So it ended up working out great. But yeah, dude, I mean, I feel like I hate to jump right into it, but this podcast has to start with the fact that Joey Chestnut is banned from the hot dog eating contest.
Joey Chestnut is officially banned. It's kind of crazy that I think did he not think there would be some sort of reprimand of what he just did though?
Dude, but here's my comparison on it. It's like women's basketball. You want to grow the brand. You want to keep the brand as big as it is. Why are you leaving out the individuals that are making or made those events massive? It makes no sense. It's like, yeah, now Caitlin Clark, she probably wouldn't have played a lot in that aspect, which is fine, rightfully so. She is a young person, but they didn't have any reservations on keeping LeBron and like Melo and all those guys off the Olympic team in 2004 when they were very, very young. The Caitlin Clark thing's crazy. The Joey Chestnut thing's crazy. And honestly, I think this sets up the hot dog eating contest with Hideki Matsui or whatever the other guy's name, Kobayashi or whatever his name is.
Kobayashi. I thought Kobayashi was done too because he's much older, but I don't know.
But he got banned.
Yeah.
So like maybe now they have an opportunity to create something that's bigger than sports.
Yeah. I think that'd be cool. And I think what they should do is because if for anyone that doesn't know what we're talking about, Joey Chestnut like signed a deal with Impossible Foods, which is like a meatless, kind of like an alternative to meat, yada, yada, yada. Nathan's hot dog didn't like that and said, well, you're banned, Joey. You're banned from our event, which you win every year by, 30 hot dogs. So they're trying to make a stand and say, hey, Joey Chestnut is not bigger than the hot dog eating contest. Probably up for a lot of debate. And like Jake, I kind of agree. Impossible Foods could do something crazy where like, hey, they can do, like an impossible hot dog eating challenge. They can do an impossible wing eating challenge. Like they can do multiple layers of food challenges instead of just the hot dog eating contest. And they could probably get a shit ton of sponsors. And just much different audience as well, because that audience is kind of tapped in. Like they might just watch regardless. It's like, oh, you're never going to get those viewers.
And you can put the tinfoil hat on. Is this a way for Joey Chestnut to be like, I'm sick of smoking these guys, I want out? Is this a way for Nathan's to level the playing field and saying like, here is the final way to get the guy that just buries everybody to make it a bigger competition? Do we see new faces, new personalities come out of the Nathan's hot dog eating contest? It's crazy to think. I mean, I know it's wild. July 4th is right around the corner. I cannot believe it's June 10th already. And when I saw that news today, I was flabbergasted, to say the least.
Yeah. I think Impossible Foods, they need to hit up the man versus food guy. Barring any controversies. I don't know what's happened, in the last 20 years where he's been relevant, but you hit him up. You hit up the other guy that used to chug Everclear, that guy on the internet. I don't know if he's
Steve will do it.
Yeah. You get him involved, and he just does some crazy challenges, and you get people like that. You probably look at some Barstool personalities. You put Dana Beers or Jerry or Glenny Balls, and they do something funny or something like that. Like Barstool would probably put on a hell of an event with some media rights like that, stuff like that. So, and then if you get Barstool rights, a lot of viewers will come naturally. So I don't know.
Is the man versus food guy, is that Adam Richmond? Is that?
I have no idea. I have no idea. I just remember he used to just Howl's food.
I really think it was him because I remember watching that show all the time, genuinely wondering how this man was still like walking around normally.
Yeah. I mean,
because he would eat gross stuff, like
gross and ridiculous amounts of it.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, dude. Now that we got that out of the way,
I mean, hey, even grab Gordon Ramsay, maybe do a cooking challenge and have Frank the Tank there too. You know what I mean? Like, dude, you can grab so many people, and this could be a crazy event if you put the right minds on it. Which it sounds like we got some decent ones here.
It sounds like we just copywrote the whole next July 4th event. So
there you go. We'll send it to Impossible Foods Away, and maybe next week we'll be sponsored by him and brought to you, presented by.
Could you imagine? Imagine we come in next week, we just have like Impossible Food banners hanging behind us. Everyone's like, "Oh, dude, these guys are vegans now."
The first vegan podcast, the first vegan ultra podcast.
Yeah, dude. Oh, that's funny. But yeah, man, what's been going on in your world? Obviously, I know you were in San Diego last week. Did you do anything crazy this weekend?
So this weekend, I want to shout out a couple people. Obviously, JT and Angie got married 2 weeks ago. Last week, my buddy Shane Steer got married.
Oh, nice.
To, his fiance Maddie, which incredible amounts of love. It's so tough to go east for weddings. It's so tough, and I was really sad like I couldn't make this one because anytime I hang around Shane, like he's like it's always a grand time. Like he's fantastic personality. He's kind of quiet, but he's kind of like I don't want to say the perfect quiet, but like if it's like me and him sitting at a bar or something like that, like we're chopping it up, and like he's very good at people watching and like very witty, like one-on-one. You know what I mean? So even though he's super quiet, but he's very funny and just a very awesome guy. And it was cool. I spent some time with him at that golf trip a few months ago. So super happy for him. I still need to send him a gift, and I'm gonna have to check the registry and see what's left and scoop something up or something for him. So I wanted to shout out them. And then, so this past weekend,
shout out to Yvonne, Rat King.
Shout out
his podcast name,
the Rat King, the fucking rat. I love calling people rats. Speaking of that, what was with you calling someone a slime? Because
so that's like an older verbiage, and for some reason, randomly, it'll come back into my dictionary. I don't know. I think "what's up, slime" just runs off the tongue, and then sometimes I just get in my slime groove. You know what I mean?
I mean, I like it because like my roommate here, Troy, he has this Discord, which is like kind of like a gaming voice community and stuff, and all his buddies like they call the Discord the Slimes, and this has been a Discord for like a decade, and I was like, but it makes sense because sometimes they'll join, be like, "What up, slime?" and I'm like, I didn't know that was verbiage. So that was new to me. And then when you said, I'm like, oh my God, this is like an actual thing. So you kind of like confirmed it years later. So anyways, last weekend, Troy and Shelby went to Vegas. They were celebrating like one of Shelby's families. Chase, my other roommate, he went back to Texas to spend with his family, and his girlfriend flew in and stuff. And then they're flying here tomorrow, actually. So that'd be cool to meet them or to meet her. And then, so I just had the house to myself. I was finishing moving everything from my old apartment. I mentioned before I have probably 100 articles of clothing right there that I was like, oh, I want to keep these, and I'm gonna have to like even like siphon down even more because it's too much, and I'm only wearing the same 10 pieces of clothing anyway per week.
Dude, that's tough. That's tough. And I feel your pain on that. I just did that maybe last winter, relatively recently. Just tried everything on. And even if things fit me okay, the thought you have to think about is how many times have I worn this in the last 3 years? And if it's not more than 2, you might as well, because what you're gonna end up doing, you're gonna keep it. Unless it's like a memorabilia thing, that's different. But I'm just talking about normal shirts. You're going to keep it. And then the next time you do any type of thing, you're going to run into the same scenario. Clothes are hard. Clothes are hard to let go of.
It's tough. And especially because it's like, damn, I spent like $40 on this t-shirt. And it's like, wore it once. Haven't worn it in the past year and a half. Like,
but
what are we doing?
If it's not like a Final Four-esque shirt that you bought at a specific thing, it might be time to cut ties, brother.
Yeah. There's some ones I definitely want to keep, but there's some ones where it's like, even where it's just like a nice shirt, but it's like, I just don't wear it. I don't wear it, and it's never going to make the rotation. It's never going to make the starting rotation, and it's gonna, it's gonna be in the minor leagues forever. And
Here's another idea:
Mhm.
make it a cutoff. Make it a
Making a
beach.
cutoff?
Make it a beach cutoff. Cutting
Maybe I
grass cutoff.
should. Yeah, we don't have grass out here, so
Cutting
cutting.
dust.
Yeah, okay.
Cactuses. Cacti.
Yeah, so I need to go through that. I have like 10 other boxes outside of my room in the common area it's just like random shit. Like I have a Pokemon, like this thing right here. Like my roommate Troy was in here. It's like a
Fire.
little Eevee statue. And it's like I got it because it was like $5. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I like Pokemon or something like that. And I haven't even taken it out of the box yet. I haven't put it anywhere. It sits in a container that was under my bed in my old apartment. Like, it's taking up space.
Stuff like that.
I don't
Stuff
need
like that though is good for a desk, like your work desk. Plop that on the work desk because I'll be honest. That's what I did with the Night King. That's what I did with the Night King that you brought. One of the first episodes. It was sitting up there, and I'm like,
yeah.
This does not belong here. And now it's on my desk, and I see it every day. And it makes a perfect desk ornament.
Maybe I will do that. I don't have any Pokemon stuff at work. I got a video game guy and I got a Heimerdinger, my League of Legends character. So maybe I'll do that. That's a good idea. But anyways, there's like 30 other things in that box that I have no use for. Tons of stuff out there. I have like a box full of 20 HDMI cords that I'm never going to use. You know what I mean? Like I just got random shit. It's like I need to get rid of all that. So I got everything from my old apartment and dropped the keys off. Finally done with that. Finally.
Weight lifted off the shoulder.
We're done. Tons. Except I forgot one thing in the apartment.
What'd you forget?
I was like, if they charge me for removing this, I'm not going to be happy. I called them 3 times a day. No one answered. I left the shower curtain.
Oh, dude, if they get you for a shower curtain, I got a guy. I got a guy.
I mean, if they get mad because they have to take off like 6 rings or whatever, however many rings, and it's going to take them a minute, I'm not going to be happy. But, dude, I was pumped because I was like, I assume I'm going to have to get it all clean. I'm going to have to hire cleaners because I'm not going to fucking do it. And if I do it, I'm going to waste all this time and energy, and they're still going to charge me anyway. You know what I mean? So I was
dude, moving out of apartments is like going to an Airbnb. You go to an Airbnb, they charge you $400 for a cleaning fee, but the rule is this place better be cleaner than it was when you got in here. It's like, absolutely not. If I'm paying for a cleaner, you're going to clean it, not me.
Yeah. It's insane. And then, but I went and I was like, I'm just going to go talk to the front office people because 2 of them are nice. One is an absolute piece of work. So thankfully one of like the nicer people were there and I was like, hey, I'm moving out. And I was like, I had a TV mount. So I was like, and I covered it all up and I was like, but it was a little off. And I was like, hey, I was going to ask what color is the wall paint? Cause I'll get some and I'll, make a match and make it look nice. I mean, it'd be a tiny little, no issue. They're like, actually don't even bother because you guys have been in there for over a year. Paint's probably changed. So we're going to hire painters anyway. They come in, it's like $30 an hour. It's like, it's not gonna be a lot. And we're just going to take it out of your deposit. I'm like, cool. And the deposit was like $250.
Yeah.
Maybe for like me and my roommate, like each, you know what I mean? So it wasn't crazy. And then I was like, what about cleaners? Like, do you recommend like hiring cleaners? I'm like, nope. I would just get everything out unless it's like in bad shape, but like dust bunnies, like don't worry about sweeping. They're like, just wipe stuff down if you want, but we're going to have people come in. It's going to be $130 unless it's like a super deep clean. If it is, it's $100 more. And then we just take it out of your deposit. And I was like, cool. Because if I would have hired separate cleaners, it would have been like $100 an hour. You know what I mean?
Aren't security deposits crazy though? Those are one of those things where you just know you're never getting back, which is kind of strange because that's one of the things that's like, hey, we're going to take this, we're going to hold it. And then when you leave, you pretty much forgot you paid it anyways. And then they're just like, we're going to use this. Don't worry about it.
Well, luckily it was only like $250. I feel like maybe it's in TV shows or something like that where I was under the impression security deposits were like a month or 2 months rent or something like that. Like something ridiculous,
Normally they are. Normally they are. It's like you pay first month, last month, and then like a deposit. Normally, it's at least how I remember the whole Morgantown houses used to be. But again, that's college. It's different.
Yeah.
Those are dumps. So who knows?
Yeah, and this was through like a whole complex, so maybe it was different for that. But anyways, potato. I'm out of that apartment. I'm like, fuck yeah, fully done. Don't have to hire cleaners. Awesome. Like, don't have to, it's like I'm finally that's a burden. I'm done with that. I actually I forgot to cancel the internet and the electric. So I gotta email
You
them.
might want to do that tomorrow, brother.
So I gotta email that. It's all right. It's just a day, so it's not a big deal. But damn. But so I just golfed all weekend. And by golfed all weekend, I golfed Saturday and Sunday. Saturday, best round of my life. Best round of my life.
Okay.
And it was like an actual good score. Like I shot a 78.
Which
78. So
assuming that's really good.
very good. So par at this course is 71. So I shot 7 strokes worse than par. You know what I mean? So like I've never golfed in the 80s. Never once. And everything just kind of clicked. Like all the drives in the fairway. Second shot was on the green or near. Chip on. Either 1 or 2 putt. Move on. Like it was crazy. It was. I mean, it was like divine. It was like divine intervention. Golf is a game where you can hit. Why people get frustrated at golf and love golf is because it's easy to tell. Like I don't even know what the verbiage is, but I will never be able to be like a professional basketball player, no matter how many times I practice. You know what I mean? Like that's just never in the cards. But as a golfer, as a recreational golfer, I can hit a professional level shot at any time. You know what I mean?
That is cool. No, that's a great point. That's a great point. There's not a lot of really, there might not be any other sport that can like, yeah, I mean, no, that is true. That's a very true statement.
Yeah. Like if I just crush a drive straight perfectly, somehow it doesn't hook or anything, it goes over 300 yards. Like I can putt from off the green 20 yards and it somehow go in. You know what I mean? Like that can happen at any given time in a sense with a little bit of skill and a little bit of luck. Actually, probably a little bit of skill and a lot of luck, but that can happen. So the fact that I hit such an incredible score and I've only been in the 80s a couple times. Now I'm in the fucking 70s once. Like I can ride this high for years.
I love that.
I can ride this high for years. I had to go back the next day. I scored 10 strokes worse, but still that's a good score for me. Like even that was a good score for me. And I'm like, I'm just jazzed. I bought we were going to buy this card, but it's like a military card out here in Arizona. And it's a couple $100, but all these nicer courses, they're now like 50% off pricing. So we're going to go to a lot nicer courses and stuff. So that'll be a lot of fun, new experiences. I signed up for a freaking US PGA Gin special index so I could play in tournaments and stuff. And
yeah, you did.
And I was like on the phone with this person. I'm like, yeah, any chance I could get this and stuff? They're like, yeah, like, have you ever had a number, like a gin number before? I was like, no. I just played a couple decent rounds and now I think I'm going to make the senior tour in 20 years, So.
Dude, I love that. So you brought up golf. Speaking of golf, I'm in this golf pool thing. This is the second year. Melvin puts it all together, and it's basically like 30 of us, where it's not all of the golf tournaments or whatever you call it, just like the big ones. And we're getting towards the end. I think there might be 2 or 3 left, and it's basically in a nutshell, pick 2 golfers a week. Whatever their winnings are, that counts on your standings. You can't use those golfers again. Add up the money, and then whoever. So my dumbass, again, know nothing about golf. So I know a couple of the big guys. I can start off hot. I've been using Chat GPT, brother, and I'm rolling right now. Like I'm in the top 10. I'm only 2 million away. I'm literally I'll take all the golfers that I used, throw them in there and say, pick me 2 winners for the golf, but you can't use these ones. And dude, there's a legitimate chance that your boy can somehow sneak out this stuff.
No way.
It's crazy. I think the leader has like 14 million in some, and I'm right there at 12. Like I'm in there in 10th place. And I haven't actually said this publicly, so I hope nobody that does it is listening, but I'm like, honestly, because that's another $300-400 that I could use football gambling, vacation, whatever it is. So I'm actually happy that you said that because I made my picks today.
Okay.
Tony
Who'd you pick?
Fial,
Tony
Tony
Finau?
Fial and Cam Smith.
Okay. Cam Smith, I think is an Australian boy.
Yeah, live guy.
Live guy. People don't like
live
him.
guy. Yeah.
But you know what, dude? I'm sorry. If you're not one of the top guys making big endorsement money, you get offered $50 to $100 million to go play golf with the Saudis. Who cares? Get that bag. Get that bag, baby.
I think it's fair to admit now that they made the right decision.
Oh yeah,
I think it's very fair to say. I get it. PGA guys didn't like it in the beginning, and honestly, when it first happened, you could have convinced me why I understood the argument of like changing traditional golf. But now that like the PGA just did back alley deals, like, oh yeah, we're going to work with Liv, they took a bag. It's like, guys like Brooks, Koepka, and all those OG guys that went over now are just laughing because it's like you guys missed out on all this money and I still get to golf in all the big majors that you do.
So speaking on that, I don't know if they're actually going to merge anymore.
Really?
I think it came out recently that a lot of people at the PGA table said, fuck no. Said like, no. Like, we're not going to do it.
Oh, okay.
Let me see. PGA Live merge. PGA draft. Actually, wait. Nope. Never mind. They drafted an agreement 3 hours ago.
No way.
Never mind.
Completely. Ultra podcast, ultra news.
Completely wrong on that. I thought I read some a couple weeks ago, but yeah. Live merger update today. They drafted a agreement signed and groundbreaking moment in golf. So yeah, absolutely. The Live they got their bag and now they get to continue coming back. PGA is going to offer each member like certain equity in the brand for staying with PGA. But the issue is that Live has more money. So Live, I think, is acquiring the PGA. So I don't know how the PGA is going to divvy out shares when they're essentially selling to Live. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I mean, I guess you can think of it maybe long term. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of an argument here for the PGA guys. Maybe long term, if there is equity down the road, like 40, 50 years from now, you could argue that maybe they would eventually make more money than the Live guys. But like, listen, we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Somebody offers me a 200. If the Saudis come to us and say the lunch line can be a Saudi podcast for $10 million, I would say, where do I sign?
They could offer us half that, a tenth of that.
We'll do for $5,000, dude.
We'll do it for a fraction. Oh yeah. Get us on discount. But yeah, so I think maybe what happened too, maybe the PGA was like, hey, we're going to give our guys shares now, like a certain percent. And then when Live buys us out, whatever the share price is, they just get that money. You know what I mean? So they might be just getting it paid up front because I'm sure Live wants the 100% controlling of it, Because
I know I did see some news about Rory. Like, didn't like the PGA guys like push him out or like something, or like he left and like was like, forget this. I did see Rory news where like there was beef with it because he was one of the guys that was spearheading like stay with the PGA, and now he's just like, what? Fuck this.
Yeah.
Deal.
I think when Rahm left, that definitely kind of changed everything because he won the Masters last year, and the fact that he took a massive jump, like kind of the second wave, it wasn't even the initial wave. It's like this was a year later, and then he still jumped. And I think Rory was like, fuck, man, like I'm not playing that well, and I mean they're making all this money. Then again, Rory is making ridiculous amounts of money for his spots.
I'm sure.
He's a guy which is like always going to be okay. You know what I mean? Him, Justin Thomas, for how bad he fucking plays, always going to be okay. Like Ricky Fowler,
Spieth.
I mean, Puma's always going to give him some. Spieth, yeah, like guys that just have so much popularity.
Yeah.
And they have more popularity than Scotty Scheffler. You know what I mean? Like I
agree.
All those four guys that we just named probably got more percent than Scotty Scheffler, even though Scotty's like winning tournaments. Because
until
people
Scotty
just don't fucking care.
Until Scotty hit the clink.
Scotty
got his clink card, and now he just skyrocketed in popularity.
Yeah, I mean,
which that video is great.
It's funny.
It's so bad. It's so bad from what they said to what the actual video is. Shout out body cams for situations like that.
It's crazy. But yeah, so everyone thought Rory was going to leave, and maybe he was in talks. And he sits on the board for the PGA like group and stuff like that, obviously, because he's just such a long-term veteran. And they kind of kicked him off the board.
Oh.
And that's why I'm thinking that they weren't going to deal, because when they kicked him off, they were kind of like, fuck that, like, we're not doing this deal.
So they kicked him off.
I'm pretty sure they kicked Rory off, like the decision board for the PGA.
Yikes.
So
sorry, Rory.
So I don't know if he ended up making his way back on or something like that, but that was a couple weeks ago or a month ago. That's why I was like, I don't know if they're going to deal anymore. But yeah, going to be cool. I mean, I don't know. No one watches the Live Golf, but they get paid ridiculous amounts to play only 3 rounds. So good for them.
I do want to go to the Greenbrier event one time since they have one. Because I mean, cool. Dude, I've never been to the Greenbrier. I've never been there, and it's crazy because it's obviously it's probably, I'd say, one of the most well-known areas, I guess, in West Virginia. Like, oh yeah. Like they do like the spring training and everything there. So I definitely want to check that out once for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I remember like you drive by it all the time, but I've never stopped. So I think it's cool that PGA's literally play there. I think DeChambeau won the tournament there last year or the year before or something like that.
Bryson.
And everyone was like, oh, it's such an easy course. I'm like, dude, winner has a score -17 at like every course they play at. Like, yeah. How can you say that this isn't even now? They just want to put down West Virginia.
Well, dude, speaking of sports, speaking of West Virginia, and then we can dive over to entertainment here. I do just want to shout out the baseball team for making the super regional, first time in school history. Maisie's last year. The boys gave them hell, man. North Carolina's a very good baseball team. Both games were close. First game they were winning. Second game they were right there. Shout out a lot of those guys. I'm hoping can do, things down the road and, eventually translate that, whether it's minors into the majors or however it works. So I just want to shout out Maisie and the boys and what he did to transform baseball at WVU is something not to be scoffed at, from the first field they played on to now the beautiful, I guess I don't want to call it stadium. A park, the beautiful park that they built. Shout out them. Big week in entertainment though, Tiggy Nation.
Yeah. Real quick, I want to bring back the baseball team. I don't know if you saw the post-game interview with North Carolina. They just had some players and a couple coaches, and they were answering questions, obviously about the game and stuff, like how do you think that happened, yada yada. And in the background, you can hear their locker room, and they are playing and singing Country Roads. What do you think that's like? Do you think, I mean, obviously it's kind of a jab, you know what I mean? Because they just beat West Virginia. But do you treat that as like a sign of respect? Or do you treat that as like they're trying to rub it in our faces? Or are you just like, I mean, they won. They can do whatever they want. You know what I mean?
This is going to kill me to say this, but I gotta answer this in an unbiased way. We smacked them in football, which again wasn't a big bowl. There already was some ill will there. If you want to answer this in an unbiased way, our Eat Shit Pitt is a total replica of Pitt's song that we do in every single game. I think it's fair game. I hate to say it. It sucks. It sucks as a WVU fan. It sucks of somebody that eats, sleeps, and drink the sport. Unfortunately, I think it's a fair thing to do, because I would be like, if North Carolina had a big song, not saying that our locker room would have done that, but there would have been West Virginia fans doing the exact same thing. Does it sting? 100%. Is it fair? Absolutely, because things like that are what makes sports.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't see any ill will on it, social media, which I thought was cool. And it's like, I think it's kind of cool. You know what I mean? That's one, our state has such a popular song that not only do they sing it so much in the States, they sing it over in like, I think Germany. It's Germany and shit. They're all about it.
They love it over there.
Yeah. So I thought it was really cool to see. And like the coaches were kind of like laughing, like, oh my God, like, is this okay? You know what I mean? Like the players are laughing, having fun. And I mean, hey, they won the game. So shout out to them. And yeah, they played very hard, because I know the WU squad's very good. So yeah, but like I said, let's hop into media.
Dude, big week, big week. The boys comes out this week, and House of the Dragon comes out this week. So we can start on the boys. Did see some news. Season 4 drops, I believe, Thursday night or Friday morning. I can't remember which one it is. That show is only going one more season after this one. Already confirmed that it's season 4, then season 5, but they are going to keep continuing doing Gen V, which was an incredible show, and they're hoping to make more spinoffs in that world. I can't remember. Do you watch The Boys? I can't remember.
So I have not. I fully thought they were only like 2 seasons in.
Okay.
This show's probably been going on for like 7 years, and I just, it just
Long
keeps
time.
going on past me. Yeah. So I hear good things. Everyone says I would love it.
It's
incredible.
It's which, we're not fact checkers on this pod, but if I understand the story right, those characters were originally created for the DC universe. That's why they mirror like Superman, Aquaman. They mirror the superheroes and the villains of DC. I believe it was too violent, so they ended up spinning off and creating their own world. It's very gory. It's very gross. There's a lot of gross stuff that happens in it. A lot of blood, a lot of explosions. Like the first scene, basically somebody gets run through and their whole body explodes. Like it starts off like very, very gory. I think you would love it. It's definitely knowing you as an individual, you would absolutely love Homelander as a character. He is the ultimate villain, and his personality, his demeanor, it's just so like villain-esque. Very excited for this season. I love that show.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard good things. I know you guys always talk about it, so maybe I'll give it a try. I mean, it's probably only 10 episodes a season, and I can go through those quickly. So,
and it's cool because Gen V is the college version. It's like it explains how they become a part of the 7, which is like the main characters or whatever in The Boys. And this season they did 3 seasons of The Boys, and Gen V is tying in to season 4. Like there's characters that cross paths, and I'm sure there's going to be Gen V characters in season 4, and it's going to keep bouncing back and forth. So I'm trying to think. It's kind of like Chicago Fire and Chicago PD and Chicago Med, like all those shows going on at once, and then kind of like the Fairly Odd Parents and the Jimmy Neutron crossover of the century.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have to get on those. I mean, they seem cool, and like you said, they're kind of more violent, almost like a Deadpool-esque kind of bizarro world to DC. So, I'll have to give it a try. I'll have to put that in the backlog, honestly, because right now, you had already mentioned, and the whole world's getting prepared. HotD.
We are back. We are so back, and it feels so good to know that the Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon, the entire world, 9 p.m. on Sunday for the next 8 weeks is going to be watching the exact same thing at the exact same time. And honestly, dude, I think the more and more I read, I really think there is more of a both sides divide than I gave credit for after season 1 was over between green and black. I just assumed everybody was on green or black like myself, and you were the only one in the world that was on team green. But I believe I'm wrong in that statement. I'm very excited, dude.
Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, this is fully written. So if you did read, I think it's Fire and Blood. I think it was called Fire and Blood was the book. So if you've read that, you know what's going to happen. I think I know what's going to happen, whether it be a spoiler or something like that. So I don't want to speak on that, and that does not affect my decision to root for one side or the other at all. But it is kind of cool to see that there is some people on the green side.
It's cool.
Yeah. And it's cool to see it. And I think it's just cool to have that argument as long as it's respectful. You know what I mean? Like, because the whole world, I saw banners black and red yesterday, and I haven't seen one green one. Have you seen it in like the public?
I have not seen. I just started seeing the banners actually today on social media. So cool, like just so cool to see all that. And I mean, I know we mentioned it a couple weeks back, but the fact that I think this is well known. Episode 1 is a son for a son, and it's like 70 some minutes long. They released the clip of Damien talking to I know her name and I always forget it. Not Rhaenyra. What's Rhaenys?
Yep.
Talking to Rhaenys, basically saying like you could have ended this already, and Luke could have been here. Like you could have ended this whole thing already.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I hate to say it, bro, but I think we're gonna see our man or my man, Damien, go a little rogue this season, and I don't know if I like that, brother. I like that.
I saw. So I haven't seen that clip. I stopped after the first one. Have you seen all the clips and trailers?
I have seen all of the trailers, and that's the only clip that I've seen so far. I saw a couple stills. I guess I'm just wondering, the one thing that I don't want to know, I'm wondering if this season's going to start how last season ended, where like one episode's going to be black, one episode's going to be green, and then they're going to come together. That's the only part that I don't know yet. I think that would be kind of cool, but at the same time, I feel like if the episode's a son for a son, we got to assume we're going to see both sides.
Yeah, I think we'll probably see a mix of both for most of it. Because, I mean, although they're split right now, I think we're going to see kind of like what we saw in the trailers with Entertainment Weekly. Like we're going to see, I think Rhaenyra and Alicent are going to be very close proximity very quickly into the season. You know what I mean? Like they might both be in King's Landing for the majority of the season, honestly. I think that's a struggle in itself. Alicent's dad, I'm going to make a prediction, will not last long in this. I don't think he's going to last long in the season. I think he's going to get cut quick. I think he's going to be cut quick just from the trailers we've seen. And then it looks like we're going to have a little internal battle with Rhaenyra and Daemon. I think we're going to have a struggle there because Daemon is actually Rhaenyra's uncle, and Rhaenyra's dad was the king, and Daemon was mad that he wasn't next in line. You know what I mean? Because he doesn't have any male heirs. So he was like, well, she's going to be the heir. And Daemon was like, it should go to the next male, like from season 1. You know what I mean? And I think deep down, when that moment comes, kind of like the Dany moment.
Yes.
We're going to see a little parallel with Jon Snow and Dany. It was like, will you bend the knee to me?
Dude, Daemon can make the argument that Aegon is his. Mm-hmm. And I didn't even think about that. I didn't even think about that. Daemon can be like, listen, I have a male now. And yeah, you might be the mother of the male, but oh my God, dude, you just opened my brain up. I honestly didn't think of that at all.
So it's a slippery slope. Well, wait. Who's Aegon? Aegon is Aegon Alicent's?
But there's 2. So that's why. Happy birthday to me. That's why. Remember when Rhaenyra was talking to her dad before he died? He said, "I want Aegon to sit on the throne." Rhaenyra just named her first son with Daemon Aegon. So there's 2 Aegon. I'm 99% sure there are 2 Aegons. There's Alicent's Aegon, and then there's Rhaenyra's Aegon, who is the true-blooded Targaryen. I think
because I know Viserys' son with Alicent is Aegon, right?
Yes.
Okay, so
I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. But I could be wrong with this. I hope I'm not wrong with this, or I would have sounded like a dumbass the last couple of years.
Okay, you are correct. There is. So you're right. Daemon and Rhaenyra had Aegon the Younger Targaryen, and then Viserys, and then Visenya. So, and okay. And then Alicent and Viserys had Aegon and Helena and Aemon. Okay. I think that's it, right? That's what we have, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
and
you're
then,
right. So I stand corrected. We do have that. I'm glad we're going to be seeing a lot of the Valerians back in it
yes,
too. I
same.
think that's cool. I think
The Starks.
Corlys is Corlys alive? Is he dead?
Corlys is alive. I believe
He's
Corlys is still
alive.
alive.
Rhaenys is the wife, obviously. That's cool.
It's just them, though, right? And it ended up just being them. I'm sure more will come, but
Yeah.
but both of their kids died.
Well, I know one did. I think the other's still alive.
Oh yeah, the daughter's alive. That's right.
No, the daughter's dead. The daughter's dead. The son's alive. Because the son
Daemon's
married
daughter.
the son married Rhaenyra. Yeah. But I mean, this is a whole fucking mess. So if you haven't watched House D, you got to watch it because then you can get in all this goddamn trouble with us. I mean, this family tree is crazy. We got the Kingsguard in here too. Where are the stars? I want to
because Daemon's first kids were Valyrian or whatever. Because that's who his second. That's who this pimp's second wife was before he had his third wife with Rhaenyra. Dude, Daemon's been married 3 times so far in this show.
Damon was married to Rhea Royce? Or no? Yeah, Rhea Royce. And then he was married to, I hit a button and now then he married the little Valerian girl.
Yeah.
And had Baela and Rhaena.
Yes.
And then is now married to Rhaenyra. So he's just wiping through these women, you know?
He is creating a Daemon Targaryen bloodline that's very strong.
I mean, he's half the goddamn tree right now. I mean, his trunk in the tree is massive, you know? So I don't know. I'm so excited. So Troy has not seen House of Dragon. Chase and I have. Chase gets back tomorrow. And I was like, hey, we got to start rewatching that Troy can watch. Because I'm like, Sunday hits, like, I'm out there. We're watching silence. Like we're watching this. We're not halting any episodes. So you better get caught up in 3 days, or else, you know, you're gonna be left out.
I agree, brother. And the first still of what's the Stark's name?
I don't know. I was hoping to see it in here.
He looks sick. Regardless of what his name was, that still of him is fire. So it's good to see the Starks are back. Love to see the Starks.
Everyone loves the Starks, and honestly, they are good to follow the story with because they were part of the First Men, and they kind of provide an outsider view of all the chaos, you know, which is nice. Which is nice to see, and it's always these goddamn Targaryens, you know. And maybe that's in a sense, maybe that's my bias because we see the aftermath later on. The Targaryens, you know, they come back. And, you know, it doesn't work out again. So maybe I'm like, you know what? Let's get a chance for something different earlier on. So maybe that's why I'm rooting for the Hightowers.
And, dude, I am ready to see Daemon versus Aemon. You know that first fight that they have, if it happens this season, you know the build-up's there. They've been building that fight up since season 1. That is going to be a bloodbath for the ages, dude. For the ages, and I'm so excited for that one.
It's going to be crazy, and it's so cool how they mirrored Aemon to look like Daemon, you know? Like, he's tall, he's got the long hair, he's already got one eye out, which looks fucking sick. I had to stop because the trailers with him and, like, what's allegedly supposed to be coming is, like, a little fucking sickening, honestly, what's coming of him and stuff, and it's like... I mean, like uncle, like nephew, what's coming, you know, it's kind of crazy. And I hope somehow they have an epic battle and they just end up killing each other, you know?
Well, dude, and with him, I always thought it was strange in the last episode of season 1 that they make, and again, there's probably no correlation with this. I don't want to say there's any correlation, but they make his eye that he puts in, that he shows the color of the White Walker's eye, which is rather strange. When I did my latest rewatch and finished a couple weeks ago, I'm like, it's weird how this is the exact same color blue, which makes me think that There is a long-haired White Walker that rolls around. And that's
Yeah. Wasn't the one that at Hardhome, the one that was fighting John up top? He was the long-haired one, right?
it was the long hair, had the blonde, had the blue hair. It makes you think a little bit that might supposed to be him, maybe. I don't know.
Dude, that's crazy. I've never heard that theory. I'm off Reddit. I'm completely off Reddit. I will never go back there. I can't do it. But that's an insane theory.
Yeah, which again, I don't know. I don't know. I've never looked this up. Hand to God, I just found that extremely interesting. That he's one of the Targaryens with long hair, and the color shade of blue that they use is the exact same as the White Walkers.
I want to learn so much more about the White Walkers. I'm so sad we didn't get to that in Game of Thrones. And I hope we get a prequel with them. About the Long Night and stuff. I think that'd be fucking sick.
Let me ask you this. Yeah. And if you know this, don't answer, which you might not know this. Just ignore it. Are we going to see the White Walkers again? Because they're building up to, that's kind of like, remember, that's what Viserys tells Rhaenyra in the first one, when everyone's like, oh, wow, so they knew already type deal. I don't know. I don't want to get too in the weeds on that, because it does make me wonder if that's something that we might get a callback to, which wouldn't be a callback, it'd be a prequel, but it just makes you think, because knowing that I've watched Game of Thrones, knowing that most people that have watched House of the Dragon have watched Game of Thrones, you know which families are in Game of Thrones. You kind of have an idea, even if you don't know. It's just interesting. It's interesting at the least.
Yeah. I would say if we do hear of any rumblings of them or anything, they're going to be maybe, I think allegedly we're supposed to get 3 or 4 seasons of this.
Yes.
So I bet we probably won't hear anything about that towards the end, I bet. I think now is going to be all focused on the family struggle, the aftermath, how it's going to play out, and all the dragons. I think that's going to really take the focus. It would be cool, maybe like the last episode, some sort of ode to the White Walkers, or be like, hey, winter's coming, you know what I mean? Like something like that, maybe. But I think there was another prequel that was greenlit pretty recently as well, right?
Yeah, it's a 6-episode prequel, and it's about like a 2 nights or something, like a knight and an apprentice.
Isn't it like the Cabbage Knight or something like that? Or
it's the guy with like the big horn helmet, like I don't know what.
We're getting something like that. And I mean, this universe is just sick. I mean, everyone loves the medieval stuff, and Game of Thrones has done it best. So that's cool. I was thinking of I think what was in my head, the Dune prophecy. There's going to be a prequel to Dune coming out this year.
Dude, and it's crazy, bro. They're dropping a game. Did you see the game?
So I saw they're dropping a game, and they're like, hey, it's going to be an MMO, yada, yada. And it's like, MMOs are cool. We're going to have our own little area. You're not going to be sandwalking, because that'd be just terrible for a game, but you're going to be like riding worms and stuff. And it looks all cool. It came out, like a release trailer came out like a month ago. And now it's like, hey, it's coming up soon. I'm like, dude, did they just develop this in complete secret and are going to release it at the end of this year or something like that?
Dude, it's crazy, because it's an alternate universe, which makes it even cooler. It's like Paul doesn't get born, and like the prophecy actually happens the way it is, where a female's born instead of him, which I'm like, this is awesome. This is just another extension of what would have been if it happened how the prophecy was supposed to do. But the prequel series looks incredible. I am so excited for it.
I mean, it's going to be a series, so it's going to be a TV show, so they're going to be able to show more than actual movie, which is sick. We'll probably learn some more background information that we don't even get from the movies.
Yep.
10,000 years before the ascension of Paul Atreides. So very far in the past. But I'm sure we'll see hopefully some families. Hopefully the Atreides are there. Hopefully the Harkonnens are there. Could be some cool stuff. And yeah, man. I mean, just crazy. The amount of stuff that has just come out the past couple days.
Dude, it's awesome, and it's all Max too. Like they just announced the Penguin series and the Batman, the Robert Pattinson universe drops in September with Colin Farrell, which is going to be awesome. Max is really really doing the thing, and I'm so excited for next week's episode because there's going to be so much TV to talk about. I guess we can leave it at this before we want to jump anywhere else. If you had to pick one character that you think that's going to die in episode 1, who would you pick? Because I have one if you want me to go, if you want to think for a second. But because somebody. It's Game of Thrones. You know somebody.
Yeah. I would say it almost has to be like a dragon rider because I think we're going to have like a dragon fight. Dude, I feel like, but unfortunately I've seen trailers. So it's like, I would say Rhaenys, I would say Corlys. Like I would say one of them probably going to fall. I don't think any of the children fall. I don't think any of the children are going to die. Maybe the male Valerion.
Okay.
Maybe that like was married to Rhaenyra. So yeah. I'll say him. I'll say him. He will be my death.
Okay, dude. I think Daemon whacks Rhaenys.
What?
I really do. I think Daemon's gonna whack Rhaenys, and that is what's gonna start the divide between Daemon and Rhaenyra. And again, that's just bold prediction.
He's gonna whack his sister?
No, no. Daemon's gonna whack Rhaenys, the Corlys's wife.
Isn't that his sister? Isn't that Daemon's sister?
It would be aunt, I think.
Aunt?
Yeah.
Maybe you're right. Yeah.
Or cousin or something. That's just the bold one. That's the only way that I can see that divide, that creation happening. And I think it was interesting that they decided to drop a scene between those two. Yeah. And that's really reading in the lines. I'm probably so wrong, but
you might be right because he has a quick temper and he's been known to do that sort of thing. Like right after a conversation, like he'll cut your throat. So
yeah,
he's got no filter. He just sees red. That's a very good guess. It's a very good guess.
But dude, yours is, but we're on the same page. We're in the same family. Like our guess was in the same side of the sphere there.
The issue is the high towers, they don't have that many people. You know what I mean? They have the 3 kids, they have the father, and they have whatever, the Kingsman guy, that Cole, Sir Alistair Cole or whatever, like it. But he
sucks.
He's such a piece of shit.
Ass.
He sucks. I'm so glad Rhaenyra dodged him. Oh my God.
Sir Christian Cole. Fuck you, dude.
Damn. But I think it's been a time, yeah.
Dude, yeah. The only other thing I just wanted to shout out, Roaring Kitty's back. Did watch the stream. Don't know if it's gonna end up being something as big as it was in 2021. Just find the timing very interesting that all of a sudden he's back in the fold. And I just wanted to shout out Roaring Kitty because the movie Dumb Money and that whole story is probably one of the most fascinating, like, real world people versus big economic powerhouses that I can remember in my lifetime. So I just want to shout out Kitty.
Yeah. Cool to see him back. Cool to a chance at some quick dumb money. And it's just such a cool thing to see socially, So shout out Roaring Kitty. Gonna play some golf this weekend. Hope to keep shooting well. And then I think we got to move some of Troy's mom's out here, and she has like some extra stuff, so we got to go pick that up. And then Sunday night, baby.
Well, I just want to say good luck. Good luck to your side. Obviously it's friendly competition between you and I. We're on different folds here, but it doesn't create a divide in our friendship at all. Even though green's my favorite color. I just want to get that out there. So good luck. I just want to say good luck before we go.
I'm muted. Absolutely. I think what's selling me, and I would never waver, but what's selling me is damn. I mean, Allison is so gorgeous. It's insane.
Oh!
It's insane. They're both gorgeous, and I hope they're somehow like secretly in love together. Like I think honestly, this season we're gonna see them kiss on screen. You know what I mean? Like I think it's gonna happen. They might both survive. They might both survive by the end of this. I have no idea what's gonna happen. So, yeah. Good luck. Good luck. We'll see how we fare in season 2. Hopefully our sides can just, come together and we rule together, But this has been a fantastic lunch. Some good I think we just had dessert today. A little tiramisu. Shout out Judy hooking us up there. JT missing out. I hope he's probably eating hot dogs and mac and cheese at home with a nice ginger ale. So this has been episode 29 of the Lunch Line, and we'll see you same time next week after HotD season 2 has aired.
Peace.
Bye-bye.